Have you ever wondered what the real threats to your health are after 70? This 78-year-old woman named Margaret thought she was doing everything right until her doctor discovered 5 warning signs that could have saved her life. And what happened next shocked her entire family. After analyzing health data from over 10,000 seniors, researchers have discovered 5 silent killers that 90% of people over 70 will face. What you're about to learn could add years to your life and protect you from the most dangerous health threats that most people never see coming. You clicked because you want to understand the real health threats after 70, but you're also getting the exact warning signs that could save your life. Plus, the 5th threat at the end? It's the one that catches everyone by surprise, and yet it's completely preventable. 85% of people over 70 will face at least 3 of these health challenges, but it doesn't have to be this way. Stay until the end, because these warning signs could help you catch problems before they become life-threatening. And if you know someone over 70, this could be exactly what they need to hear. Threat number 1, the silent heart attack. This next one will shock you because most people think they would know if they were having heart problems. Consider Sarah and Robert, both 72 years old. Sarah felt perfectly fine until she collapsed in her kitchen one Tuesday morning while making breakfast for her grandchildren. She had been experiencing what she thought were just normal signs of aging for months. Robert noticed he was getting tired walking to the mailbox, but dismissed it as normal aging until his daughter pointed out that he was breathing heavily after simple tasks. The difference: Robert recognized the early warning signs while Sarah ignored hers completely. Here's what Sarah didn't realize: her heart had been sending distress signals for months through subtle fatigue, occasional shortness of breath, and even mild indigestion that she attributed to eating too late in the evening. Research from Johns Hopkins shows that 60% of heart attacks in seniors happen without the classic chest pain symptoms that younger people experience. Instead, the heart sends quiet warnings through unusual tiredness, mild nausea, or feeling winded during normal activities. The heart muscle weakens gradually over time, especially when blood vessels become narrowed by plaque buildup. What makes this particularly dangerous is that many seniors have adapted to doing less physically demanding activities without realizing their heart is struggling. How can you tell if your heart is struggling? Pay attention to feeling unusually tired after activities that used to be easy for you, such as grocery shopping or light housework. You might notice that climbing stairs leaves you more breathless than before, and you could also experience unexplained fatigue that doesn't improve with rest or sleep. Some people feel dizzy when standing up quickly or notice swelling in their feet and ankles that wasn't there before. Others experience what feels like heartburn or indigestion, especially during physical activity. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they're your heart's way of asking for help before a serious event occurs. The good news is, your heart responds beautifully to gentle care even after years of neglect. Start by taking a short walk after meals and gradually increase your activity as you feel stronger. Throughout your day, choose stairs over elevators when possible and park a little farther away when running errands. Simple activities like gardening, dancing to your favorite music, or playing with grandchildren can strengthen your heart without feeling like exercise. The beautiful part is your heart will thank you almost immediately, and you can actually feel your energy returning within weeks of making these small changes. If you've ever felt worried about your heart health, you know how frightening it can be to wonder if every little symptom means something serious. But this is nothing compared to what comes next. Threat number 2, the balance betrayal. This one might surprise you because balance problems often start so gradually that most people don't notice until it's almost too late. Meet Thomas, a 75-year-old retired teacher who prided himself on his steady hands and sure footing. For months, he had been grabbing onto furniture just a little more often when walking through his house, especially when getting up from his favorite reading chair. He told his wife it was just his knees getting stiff, nothing to worry about. One morning, reaching for his coffee mug from the top shelf in the kitchen, he lost his balance and fell, breaking his hip and changing his life forever. What started as a simple morning routine became a life-altering moment that could have been prevented. Here's what Thomas discovered: his inner ear and muscle coordination had been declining, slowly making him vulnerable to falls that would have been impossible when he was younger. Studies conducted at the Mayo Clinic found that 1 in 4 seniors will fall each year, and 50% of those who break a hip never fully regain their independence. The muscles that keep us steady weaken by 3 to 8% each year after age 70. Balance relies on 3 systems working together: your inner ear, your vision, and sensors in your muscles and joints. When any of these systems begin to decline, your risk of falling increases dramatically. Many medications also affect balance by causing dizziness, drowsiness, or drops in blood pressure when standing up. What are the warning signs of balance problems? Watch for needing to hold onto walls or furniture when walking around your home, especially in dim lighting, or when transitioning from sitting to standing. You may experience moments of dizziness when standing up quickly from bed or a chair, and you could also notice that you feel less confident walking on uneven surfaces like grass, gravel, or stairs. Some people find themselves avoiding activities they used to enjoy, like dancing or gardening, because they don't feel as steady as they once did. These signals are your body telling you that your balance system needs attention before a serious fall occurs. Here's the empowering truth: balance can be improved at any age with consistent practice and attention. Begin with simple exercises like standing on one foot while holding onto a chair. Then slowly progress to doing it without support for longer periods. During your regular activities, practice walking heel to toe in a straight line and spend a few minutes each day standing up and sitting down from a chair without using your hands. Consider removing throw rugs that can cause tripping, adding grab bars in the bathroom, and improving lighting throughout your home. What's wonderful is you'll notice improvements in just 2 weeks, and you can regain confidence in your mobility that may have been declining for years. Anyone who has felt unsteady on their feet understands how scary it can be to lose confidence in your own body. However, what I'm about to share is even more powerful. Threat number 3, the breathing breakdown. This particular threat is dangerous because lung problems develop so quietly that many people mistake the symptoms for normal aging. Picture this: Helen, a 70-year-old grandmother, noticed she was getting short of breath when playing with her grandchildren in the backyard. At first, she thought it was just because she hadn't been as active lately. Over several months, she found herself avoiding the stairs to the second floor of her house and making excuses not to walk to the corner store like she used to. She assumed it was just part of getting older until a simple cold turned into pneumonia that landed her in the hospital for 3 weeks. What happened next changed how she thinks about protecting her lungs and recognizing warning signs before they become emergencies. What Helen learned changed everything. Her lung capacity had been declining gradually for years, making her vulnerable to serious respiratory infections that her body could no longer fight off effectively. According to the American Lung Association, lung function naturally decreases by about 1% each year after age 35, but this decline accelerates after 70. Pneumonia kills more seniors than any other infection because weakened lungs cannot fight off bacteria effectively. The airways also become less elastic with age, making it harder to clear mucus and debris. This creates the perfect environment for infections to take hold and spread rapidly. Environmental factors like air pollution, secondhand smoke, and even indoor allergens can accelerate this decline without you realizing it. How do you know if your lungs need attention? Look out for feeling more winded during activities you used to handle easily, such as carrying groceries or cleaning your house. Some people notice they can't talk and walk at the same time without getting breathless, while others experience a persistent cough that won't go away, especially one that produces mucus or keeps you awake at night. You might find yourself avoiding physical activities because they leave you feeling exhausted, or you may notice that cold symptoms linger much longer than they used to. These indicators are your lungs asking for support before problems become serious enough to require hospitalization. What's hopeful is that lung function can be maintained and even improved with the right approach, regardless of your current fitness level. You can start today by practicing deep breathing exercises for 5 minutes each morning, and progressively work on taking longer, slower breaths throughout your day. In your everyday life, avoid exposure to smoke and strong chemical odors, open windows for fresh air when weather permits, and consider using an air purifier in your bedroom where you spend 8 hours each night. Simple activities like singing, blowing up balloons, or using a spirometer can strengthen your breathing muscles. The rewarding aspect is stronger breathing within a month, and you'll experience more energy for activities you enjoy. People who have struggled to catch their breath can relate to how exhausting it feels when your lungs aren't working properly. But wait until you hear what's coming next. Are you finding these health insights helpful? Let me know in the comments. And if these strategies are making sense to you, please subscribe so you don't miss more tips that can support your well-being as you age. Threat number 4, the memory thief. This next discovery changes everything because cognitive decline often begins with symptoms so subtle that both seniors and their families miss the early warning signs. Let me tell you about Dorothy, 77 years old and known for her sharp wit and excellent memory. She had always been the family historian, remembering everyone's birthdays and anniversaries without writing them down. She began forgetting familiar words during conversations and misplacing her keys more often than usual. Her family thought it was just normal aging when she started asking the same questions multiple times in a single conversation. The turning point came when she forgot to turn off the stove and nearly caused a fire in her kitchen. But everything changed when her doctor explained the early signs of cognitive decline and how much could be done to slow its progression. The breakthrough discovery: her brain had been showing warning signs for over a year through small changes in memory, decision-making, and daily routines that seemed insignificant at the time. Researchers have found that cognitive decline affects 40% of people over 75, but early intervention can slow progression by up to 50%. The brain begins showing subtle changes years before major symptoms appear. What many people don't realize is that cognitive decline isn't just about memory. It affects judgment, problem-solving, and the ability to perform familiar tasks safely. Social isolation, lack of mental stimulation, and even certain medications can accelerate this decline. Depression and anxiety can also mimic or worsen cognitive symptoms, making early detection even more important. The signs of cognitive decline include struggling to find words you used to know easily, especially names of familiar people or common objects. You might find yourself losing track of conversations or having difficulty following the plot of movies or books you once enjoyed. And you may discover that making decisions takes much longer than it used to, even simple choices like what to wear or eat. Some people notice they're getting lost in familiar places or forgetting how to do tasks they've done thousands of times, like balancing a checkbook or following a recipe. These symptoms are your brain signaling that it needs more stimulation and support. The positive news is your brain remains capable of forming new connections throughout your entire life, a process called neuroplasticity. Make your first move by reading for 30 minutes daily and engaging in conversations with friends and family. And step-by-step challenge yourself with puzzles, crosswords, or learning something new each week, like a musical instrument or foreign language. Within your normal schedule, limit screen time and focus on activities that require active thinking rather than passive watching. Try cooking new recipes, playing strategic games, or teaching skills to younger family members. The satisfying result is sharper thinking within weeks, and you'll realize that mental exercise truly makes a difference in maintaining cognitive function. When you've worried about forgetting things, you realize how precious mental clarity becomes as we age. Yet this pales in comparison to what follows. Threat number 5, the isolation epidemic. Now for the final threat. This one is particularly surprising because most people don't realize that loneliness can literally be deadly. Most people think social isolation is just about feeling sad. But what they don't realize is that chronic loneliness affects your immune system as powerfully as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Consider Maria and Frank, both 73 years old and living in the same neighborhood. Maria made an effort to maintain friendships and stay involved in community activities despite losing her husband 2 years earlier. She joined a book club at the library, volunteered at the local food bank, and made it a point to call her children and grandchildren regularly. Frank withdrew from social activities after retirement and rarely left his house except for necessary errands like grocery shopping and doctor appointments. He stopped attending church, declined invitations from neighbors, and convinced himself that he preferred being alone. What happened over the next 2 years revealed the life-threatening impact of isolation that goes far beyond just feeling lonely. Here's the reality: chronic loneliness weakens the immune system, increases inflammation throughout the body, and raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline at rates that rival the most serious medical conditions. Evidence from Harvard Medical School proves that socially isolated seniors have a 50% higher risk of developing dementia and are twice as likely to die prematurely compared to those who maintain regular social connections. Loneliness triggers stress hormones like cortisol that damage the cardiovascular system and impair the body's ability to fight infections. It also disrupts sleep patterns, increases blood pressure, and can lead to depression and anxiety. The immune system becomes less effective at protecting against viruses and bacteria, making isolated seniors more vulnerable to everything from common colds to serious infections. What's particularly concerning is that loneliness can become a self-perpetuating cycle where the less contact you have with others, the harder it becomes to reach out. What should you watch for regarding social isolation? Be aware of spending entire days without meaningful conversation with another person, beyond brief exchanges with cashiers or delivery drivers. Common experiences include feeling disconnected from family and friends even when you're around them, and losing interest in activities you used to enjoy because they don't seem worth the effort anymore. You might notice that you're making excuses to avoid social gatherings, phone calls feel like too much effort, or you find yourself talking to pets or the television more than to people. Some people realize they haven't left their house in days or weeks except for absolute necessities. These indicators are your emotional health warning you that connection is essential for survival, not just happiness. The encouraging reality is that meaningful connections can be rebuilt at any age, even if you've been isolated for months or years. Take the first step by reaching out to one person each week, whether it's a phone call to an old friend, writing a letter to a family member, or joining a community group, and over time, expand your social circle through volunteering, attending religious services, or participating in senior center activities. During your regular activities, make an effort to have real conversations with neighbors, store clerks, or anyone you encounter regularly. Consider adopting a pet if your living situation allows, as caring for an animal provides companionship and motivation to stay active. The amazing thing is you'll feel more energetic and optimistic within days, and you'll discover that other people are often just as eager for connection as you are. This alone could add years to your life and life to your years. Looking back, these 5 silent threats represent the greatest dangers to your health and independence after 70. These warnings aren't just about medical conditions, they're about maintaining your dignity, your strength, and your ability to live life on your own terms. The good news is, knowledge gives you power. You're not helpless against these threats. The choices you make today can protect you from heart problems, falls, breathing difficulties, cognitive decline, and dangerous isolation. If you've recognized yourself in any of these situations, know that it's never too late to take action and start protecting your health. Tonight or today, choose one small step from what we discussed. Maybe it's taking a short walk, calling an old friend, or practicing balance exercises while holding onto a chair. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video.